form to have. And so let's talk about that. So what's the overview here? So anyone who wants to rent a PO box, postal mailbox, or virtual mailbox in the US must fill out USPS form 1583. So this form often looks confusing the first time you see it. So in today's conversation, I want to clarify everything so we are clear about what we need to do. So let's first define USPS form 1583. The thing is, in the US Postal Service regulates how mail can be received and handled. USPS also dictates required procedures for commercial mail receiving agent CMRAs like iPostal One or Virtual Mailbox, among others. So the USPS Form 1583 is used to authorize a CMRA to receive mail on your behalf if you are a customer. It also ensures that a responsible party is linked to the mailbox. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to download a clean copy of Form 1583. So you can see this on the screen here. Here is how USPS Form 1583 looks like. So basically, the thing is that when you think about that, so you go to the USPS, the link to the US. So we're going to show you on the screen the link to the USPS Form 1583. So go to their website and download it from the official website. Do not download it from a third-party website because USPS 1583 is updated every now and then. So if they have a new, the latest version, and they include other features on the form, and you don't have the latest version, you will be toast. Okay, so be very clear. So this is how the form looks like. It's very simple. You don't have to provide all kind. Yeah, you don't have to divulge necessary information if you don't want to. The USPS just want you to talk about the private mailbox that you have. So you want to indicate your private mailbox. First of all, first name, last name, of course. You also need to put the address, so street address, PO box. Not PO box, the zip code, and so on and so forth. The name, first name, last name of the responsible party at the CMRA. So it's pretty straightforward. But we'll talk about that in today's conversation. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. I want to show you right now on the screen here. I showed you the first page. Now I want to show you the second page of 1583, what it looks like. So basically, the USPS wants you to put, so you have to put your current address. You have to put also the address of the transferring destination, so the CMRA. So here we're talking about city, zip code, and everything, okay? And you also need to put the address ID information for authorized individual if applicable. So this is actually great if you have, let's say, multiple locations and you want to actually delegate this sort of responsibility to multiple virtual mailbox services. And so you have to put all the information about the mailbox services. Again, CMRA is kind of similar. Is the same thing as virtual mailbox services. And so you put the authorized individual's street, home address, the city, the state, and the zip. This is kind of important. When we talk about zip, we're talking about zip plus 4. So just make sure you have the 4 digits that actually that are added to the zip code. And also you have to put the address ID. So here you have to check which ID, which type of address you want to direct the mail to. Is it the U.S. state, territory, travel, drivers, or no? Let's see, non-driver's ID card, current lease, mortgage, or deed of trust. So you just need to specify things for the USPS office. This is important. And I want to show you, if you look on the second page of the form here, the third page, you have instructions and footnotes. This is where USPS wants you to really be clear about, they provide additional information in case you do not understand anything. Just avail yourself of that form and read it. Okay. So the cool thing is that everything is indicated properly. Now, the bottom line here is that when you think about USPS 1583, I want you to think about the fact that you have to provide. So there are 3 things here. Number 1, you need to tell them your current address. So where you usually receive mail right now. That's number 1. Number 2, the new address where you want your mail to be forwarded to. So that it can be a CMRA or it can be an individual. So you are telling the USPS to forward your mail to a third party. That's number 2. And number 3, you need to provide the justification why you want the mail forwarded. Okay, you have to, and you also have to attach an ID to show the USPS you are who you say you are. So let's talk about the steps that you need to follow if you were to file Form 1583. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to file Form 1583. So let's talk about the steps here. So let's filling out Form 1583. Now I want to go into all the details so you have a granular view about the whole thing. So in general, the form is broken down into 3 sections: the CMRA information, the mailbox and owner information, and optionally, the business information. So let's first talk about the CMRA information. So that's box 4. So this information is generally filled out by the CMRA. Again, CMRA, we're talking about iPostal 1, Virtual Mailbox, US Postal Mail, all those players that provide virtual mailbox services. Okay. So the thing is that, so you don't have to actually concern yourself with the CMRA information. They'll do it for you. It simply shows to whom you are authorizing mail delivery from the USPS. Then you have the mailbox owner and optional business information. So this is the information that you need to fill out. And most items are self-explanatory here. So box 2, you have to write the full name that this mailbox will be receiving mail for. For example, if the mailbox will be receiving mail for a business, you will want to write the business name in this box. If the mailbox is for an individual, please indicate the individual's personal name. Again, when we talk about the name, let's make sure that you write everything in capital letters so that there is no sort of confusion as to whether you mean I or L, for instance. Okay, write everything in capital letters. In box 3, you want to write your mailbox address, including the mailbox number that you chose when you sign up with your CMRA. Be very clear here as well. On box 5, all the things I'm giving you, all the boxes are pretty self-explanatory. Okay, and box 5, you need to sign to authorize the CMRA to receive restricted delivery mail on your behalf. Box 6 and 7, you need to indicate the person who is applying for this mailbox. This will be the mailbox owner, which is required to be an individual, even if the mailbox is for a company. It's important. And so normally this is the same as the person who is receiving mail for this mailbox. Be sure to include a phone number where you can be reached, as well as your current mailing address, okay, before signing up for a virtual mailbox service. Box 8, you want to write down the 2 IDs that you will use to prove your identity and the ID numbers. One must be a photo ID. You can actually find a list of acceptable IDs actually on the USPS website. And box 16, you need to sign the form in the presence of a notary. Digital signatures are also acceptable. This is just fantastic. Now, when it comes to actually filing Form 1583 or just filling out the form, there is an optional business information section that can be applicable to your situation. Who knows? So if you are linking a business to your mailbox, you want to fill out boxes 9 to 14. And the cool thing is that most boxes are self-explanatory, except for a few that are clarified, on the screen right now. So box 10 to 10A to 10E, you want to add your business contact information. So you may use your business mailing address or registered agent address as well. Use your home address if this is a home-based business. And this is kind of cool. So this information is only for your CMRA and USPS and is not available to others. So don't worry about your privacy here. Nobody's going to find information about you. Not a problem at all. So so for box 11, you want to indicate what products or services your business provides, such as market research, consumer products, clothing. This is part of the KYC, know your customer, sort of a process that the government through USPS want to have a clear idea about what kind of business you're in. Okay, and also one thing I want to say also is that for in box 12, you want to enter each member or employee who will receive mail at the CMRA, although names must have verifiable identification. Your CMRA may not require you to provide a separate Form 1583 for each employee unless requested by the CMRA. So just be comfortable. But if you are in doubt, just ask ask your CMRA what the procedures are. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to file Form 1583. So once you actually have the Form 1583 filled out and signed, you need to notarize it. Very important. If you do not notarize it, the USPS is not going to process it. So normally, if you sign this form in person in front of your CMRA, you don't need to have the form notarized. However, as you most likely will not be able to do so, basically the CMRA needs you to provide proof of identity through a notary. So the notary should sign box 15 on the form and place a notary seal on the Form 1583 itself. Alternatively, a separate notary certificate of acknowledgement can be attached. It's called a notary certificate of acknowledgement. And notaries can be found almost anywhere. And courthouses and banks normally have an in-house notary who will serve you. You can also search for a notary directory on any search engine, Google, Bing, Yahoo, to find a local notary. And so the cost is usually less than $20, $20 to $30, depending upon the complexity of what you want the notary to do for you. So, and the thing is that your CMRA will actually accept online notarized documents from notary services. So you can use a service such as Notary Cam, for instance. Fees are a little higher than in-person notaries, but you can notarize the documents from anywhere as long as you have a webcam for video chat. So this is kind of cool. So this is important. But the best advice in our view is just to go to your bank or credit union, because they offer some banks and credit unions, they offer free notary services to their existing customers. So you may want to check with your bank first, your bank or credit union first. So in place of the notary, you can take a selfie photo of yourself holding your photo ID and submit that along with your signed Form 1583 and IDs. And the ID in the selfie photo must be clear and legible for verification. And so if you do this, your CMRA may waive the notary sort of requirements. So I'm just giving you options, and based on our research, I'm giving you options that you have in terms of providing proof of identity. So if you have to provide proof of identity, because see, the thing is the CMRA, as I said before, needs to be sure that you are who you say you are. And because if they have to start hailing mail on your behalf, they need to be sure that you are exactly the person responsible for the address. Let me give you a few pro tips here. And if you are in this, tips go to international non-US residents. And basically the thing here is that if you live overseas, you may have difficulty finding a notary, and banks and embassies normally provide notary services. So both US and non-US notary seals are accepted. If finding a notary proves impossible, you can go through a lawyer or bank official who can sign or stamp an official seal on the form. Not a problem. Government seals, for example, police, are also acceptable. So this is really good. And Notary Cam will also notarize documents with international IDs. You can notarize the documents as long as you have a webcam. So I'm giving you options here. So once you actually notarize everything, you need to send the Form 1583 documents to your CMRA, so your virtual mailbox provider. So there are two different ways to send the Form 1583 and IDs to your CMRA. You can send it by mail, by email, by fax. Actually, there are actually three ways. So you have mail, email, or fax. So when we talk about mail, you send the original copy, not a photocopy, the original copy of the form, along with the photocopy, the IDs to the mailing address listed on the CMRA's website. What will happen here is that they will submit the original to USPS and keep a copy for their records. If you go this route, they actually it's better to keep a second original copy or take a photo of the notarized form. You never know. This way, in case your mail gets lost in transit, you don't have to get another copy notarized again. So if you want to send it via email, just scan the original copy of the form and your two IDs, and you just email the images to the email address that they give you. Be sure the form is signed by you and the notary. You can also upload your application and IDs to an online storage location. For example, it can be Dropbox, it can be Google Drive, and then send your CMRA, the download link. And if you want to send the whole thing via fax, it's also possible. Fax the signed form and your two IDs to the secure fax line that the CMRA gives you. But they don't like this option because frequently the IDs and form information do not come through clearly. So because see, remember, the text must be legible and photo IDs must be identifiable. So it's just better to go through email or mail. So what are the acceptable IDs here? Because see, the thing is that you want to have clarity in terms of the IDs that you are sending along the form 1583 totally filled, right? So let me give you a list of acceptable IDs that are actually you can use, and those actually are coming straight from the USPS website. And so they can be either domestic or foreign IDs, not a problem. They must be current, not expired. The first ID must be a photo ID. Must be necessarily a photo ID. So U.S. government ID, you have U.S. government ID, maybe federal, state, or travel issued. This include valid driver's license, state non-driver's identification card, U.S. Armed Forces card, uniform service ID card. You have U.S. permanent resident or other identification card issued by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. So we're talking here about Department of Homeland Security, DHS. U.S. Certificate of Citizenship or Naturalization. You have identification card issued by a federally or state recognized tribal nation. So this is a tribal identification card. You can also have a university student ID, a passport. This can be U.S. or foreign. You can have a matricula consular. This is for Mexico. So a matricula consular card is an identification card issued by the government of Mexico through its consulate offices to Mexican nationals residing outside Mexico. You can also try, for instance, Nexus. This is Canada. So Nexus is a joint Canada Border Services Agency and U.S. Customs and Border Protection operated trusted traveler and expedited border control program. And so customers may provide a Nexus card as a form of identification for money orders. So to be accepted, the Nexus card must contain an identification number. You can also try a lease, mortgage, or deed of trust. This can also work. Voter or vehicle registration card. Home or vehicle insurance policy can also work. And Form I-94, arrival and departure. So those are really good. Now, one thing I need to say here is that Social Security cards, credit cards, corporate IDs, and birth certificates are not acceptable forms of identification. They're not. So don't even try to use them. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I explained to you how to file Form 1583. So I give you the overview, what the USPS Form 1583 really is, and I give you the steps that you need to follow. And then I ended up with the pro tips you need to think about if you want to get your Form 1583 processed real fast. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.